Hi friends, welcome. Today I want to talk about the never-ending problem in the creator's life, and that is doing things that you don't want to do. There's this idea that if you have passion in life, that you will be able to weather every storm, face every wave that life can throw at you. You will ride into the horizon and everything will be peaches and lamb chops. And this is true, you can have a fair bit of peaches and lamb chops in life, and passion is very important. But if passion is your fuel source, I think you need courage to be your backbone. Another word for passion in a lot of contexts is hunger. I think it's important to make yourself hungry now, because life will make you hungry later if you don't. You will experience dissatisfaction in areas such as your work ethic, your relationships, money, creativity, to name a few. So it's a good idea to discipline yourself now to avoid the side effects later. I think the one way I've learned that it is good to avoid to do the things that you don't want to do on a daily basis is to make the expectations of yourself higher. Now, I tend to have a very high set of expectations for myself. This doesn't tend to be a problem for me on a daily basis. I actually experience the frustration of having expectations that are so high that I feel like I'm always trying to get there at all times. This can create existential dread. But I think a lot of people, from what I've experienced, a lot of people deal with a sort of complacency. They put themselves in a comfortable place, and complacency is a very dangerous thing. You need to challenge yourself every day. You need to understand that what you are is potential, that you are not everything that you could be right now. One thing that I've learned that has been incredibly important to me is that I should utilize this thing I like to call go mode. And this is a sort of gear shifting. And it's me doing what I should instead of what I feel. And I find that what I tend to avoid are things that I have to do that will make me experience negative emotion. And it's emotion that I would love to avoid. And it's emotion that I think my response tends to be, I have another thing to work on over here that's important, and I don't want to deal with it. And maybe that's another part of this. Another part of what I'm facing that I don't want to face is the negative emotion of being away from another thing that's important to me. I'm still figuring that all out. But this go mode is a shifting of mindset to allow me to do the important things, the things that I should, the things that I know will give me peace in the future, will give me discomfort now, but peace in the future. I also think that it's important to generate momentum through routine. People who are self-disciplined have leveled up over time. These are probably a lot of people that you follow. They've leveled up over time until something that's hard for you is very easy for them, and you probably experienced that, and you're probably attracted to that in them, right? It's a good idea to continue to focus on leveling up your routines and your habits so that you can become more of this. I also think it's a good idea to expand your mind to see change over the span of weeks and months as opposed to daily. We live in we have a daily mind, right? And it can feel like forever. It can feel like things are taking an enormous amount of time to be accomplished, for things to get easier. But routines and habits and the effects of those come over enormous amounts of time sometimes. It takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of dedication, a lot of frustration to get there. And so if you think that way, I think you will avoid some frustration. I think it's also a good idea, and this is sort of the yin to the yang of routine, is to create a rhythm for yourself. And what I mean by this is create a rhythm of work that feels good for you on a daily basis. Something that makes it feel like a fun game. You fall into the process easily. And this will generate momentum just like a routine can, right? The people you follow are also probably a product of the rhythm. So learn to better enjoy your work Also take breaks, because it makes, when you do work, it makes that a more effective thing. It feels counterintuitive. You think, oh, if I just work all the time, I'll be productive all the time. Well, you start to have this degraded quality of focus and output, and everything will fall apart. You have to take breaks to replenish your mind, right? To be able to focus better, to be able to have more diligent or more effective creative thought. I think you should design a workflow that feels good to you. And that will help you stay disciplined, because like I said, you start to treat it more like it's a game and less like it's a nightmare of daily work progress that has to be done so that you don't slowly get fat and die. So I want to give an example, an illustrative point or an illustrative story that can help put this into a practical sense, because I'm speaking in all sorts of high-level ideas. Imagine you are a talented pianist and you have been training for years. You really enjoy all the pianists that I don't know the name of, and you want to be on stage. You want a gig. That's your goal. You're trying to get there. And there is currently a chasm between you and your gig, and you're going to need to take steps to get to that gig. In the creative process, there are many small steps, and you don't know what those steps are yet when you begin the creative process. It's just endless steps forevermore, and you hope you get there someday. That's how it works. So let's say, okay, so you need to get together a band. So what you do is you call all 3.5 of your friends, hope 2 of them will come along, and you can have a little trio, a little jazz trio. Okay, so you have to do that. That may work. 0 of your friends may buy into that idea. So there's that. You may also have to send out 250 emails to different places and venues where you might be able to play. You may have to create a video of yourself playing. You may have to practice. You're probably going to have to practice. You have to deal with all the minutia of this process, which can take a toll. So you go through all of these things. Maybe it takes you 6 months. You're just going at it every single day. You send out 12 emails a day. You're like this is me and my guys. You're sending them your horrible video that you filmed with your iPhone, but you guys sound pretty good, okay, because you know what, got talent. But also you have to deal with Jim, who's your drummer. He just doesn't really know how to stay in the pocket. So there's that, and you have relational issues. And then the drummer, you realize the drummer took your girlfriend. All sorts of horrible things can come about. And then, if you're lucky, after all of this, you get a gig. 9 people show up. It's a very special thing. You have to figure out how to get the mic cord to plug in right, because they need to hear you talk and talk about why this song means so much to you, or else it's just another jazz song, right? Yeah, so you have plenty of issues. Maybe the gig gets canceled 5 times. Okay, wonderful. They're 9 people. They're mildly entertained. They had an okay time, but they really enjoyed their food and drinks that they're used to, because they come there every evening because they have a horrible, unproductive life. You got a gig. Great. Now you start over. And so that's how this plays out. You want to have a system for by the way, pardon my nose. I don't know if you're hearing my sniffling. I don't know why I'm so sniffly today. I think I forgot to blow my nose this morning. It's a good idea to have a system for dealing with that process. And if you can have discipline but also make it fun, that will help you deal with that. That will help it be a less frustrating thing. The more happy you are, the more energy you have through the satisfaction of the good of the process, the more energy you will be able to deploy towards the things that you don't want to do and the bad things in the process. I think personally I struggle with having a routine and a rhythm. My days are different every day, and doing the mundane things can be the hardest part for me. And because of that, I have found an app that I absolutely love. And I think it might be helpful to you. Now, first off, I will say that you do not need this app to achieve the things that I'm going to be talking about, but it's a great all-in-one, cohesive, well-designed, beautiful interface laid out thing that you can use. It is called Due, and it is $5, D-U-E. Due is on the Apple App Store. I will not speak to the other app stores out there. I'm sure you have other alternatives. But what I love about this app is what it does and how it does it. It has repeating to-dos for one, which is important for me because a lot of the things I don't want to do are things that I have to do repeatedly, such as wash the clothes, wash the dishes, make sure I take showers. And it has the ability to sort of treat your reminders as if they are an alarm. So you have a snooze. You can tell it when you want it to repeat this snooze, and it will pester you until the end of eternity if you allow it to. And this is a good thing because it will help you actually get something done. It will keep it in your brain until you get it done. If you're disciplined enough to not say I've done this thing before I've done this thing, which is on you, it can be a really helpful tool. It also has timers built in, which I love. I like having a lot of different timers for different things that I'm up to because sometimes, particularly if it's something that I really don't want to do or something that is heads down work, I need to focus. Maybe I enjoy the process, but it's a really good idea to get everything out of my eyesight and focus. Having a 30-minute timer for to use to work or to use for a break is really helpful, as well as knowing how long I should steep my coffee and boil my eggs. I absolutely love this app. It's a perfect app for having a companion with you who will lovingly walk with you all day long and say, hey, remember you had that thing. Don't forget that thing. Hey, you were supposed to do that thing like 16 days ago. You never did it, so you gotta do that thing. Remember that. So I would encourage you to either buy this app, it's totally worth it, it's a fantastic app, very simple, or find your own equivalent of this, create that structure for yourself. And in conclusion, I think that you should focus on staying hungry, staying inspired, and not get complacent because it's so easy to get complacent. Comfort is so dangerous. You won't get to your goals without good routines and habits. That is it. I would love to hear your thoughts. What are your habit goals? What do you do horribly? What do you suck at? What makes you stay up in the middle of the night and sweating because you can't figure out how to keep your freaking office clean? You can't figure out how to make any money at all. You're living inside a rock. Somehow you got inside the rock. You had the diligence to cut out that rock with a pickaxe or whatever you used. Maybe one of those plastic stirrers from Starbucks, because those are easy to get a hold of. You had the discipline to do that. You know what? You can have the discipline to build your bakery. Have a lovely day. Goodbye.